What it do, party people? It is week 5 of Texas high school football, and it's week 5 of Dave Campbell's Texas football tonight because the governor called. I'm Greg Tepper and also Banksy, but don't tell anyone. Joined as always by Ashley Pickle over on the right. And
Howdy.
Sitting between us, it's a Tepper and it's a Carter sandwich with Tepper and pickle bread because Carter Yates, our senior high school football writer, makes his Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight debut. Hi, Carter.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing really well. You know, it might be a weird sight for some of the viewers at home. It was a weird night in high school football, though, so it's only fitting that I'm making my debut tonight.
Yeah, weird, the theme of the night.
I would say, so here's a positioning statement as we get into 90 minutes of scores, highlights, analysis, special guests joining us live on the program to recap a wild week 5 of Texas high school football. Here's a positioning statement. Every year, there's one night where Texas high school football goes a little crazy town banana pants. And I didn't think it was driving in tonight. I was like, oh, okay, it didn't feel like that night, but you never know when it's going to hit. Ashley Pickle, we're in the midst of it right now.
Especially because you feel like the week 4, 5, and 6, sometimes, being honest, they can drag a little bit. 4 and week 6 are two of the largest bye weeks across the entire state, and usually week 5 is kind of sandwiched in between it, but we will not complain about a week 5 chaos fest. Let's go ahead and set you up for what are we looking at heading into week 5 in the crazy tumultuous night that it was. We take a look at our Friday night focus, and Carter, I'm going to start you off here. Week 5 Friday focus, now it counts.
Yeah, the first week where there are more district games than non-district games. And I felt it was so interesting how a lot of the big-time programs were playing the district second-place teams from last year. So it was number 1 versus number 2. Number 1 Salina versus number 6 Frisco Panther Creek tonight is a banger that is still going on. Waxahachie started off with Duncanville last week and now is on DeSoto this week. ARP versus Troop was kind of the de facto District 11 3A D2 championship in the district opener. So there is no time to ease into district play for a lot of these teams. They've got to come with their best A game right from the jump.
Yeah, I think one of the fun things about our job is we get to kind of help set the stakes and help people understand why this game matters. For a lot of these games, we don't have to. We can just say, hey, look at the district standings. Look at the predicted district standings and look at the district standings from last year and be like, these games are going to matter. So you're exactly right. For the first time, we've got a lot of games that really count, and that's what I think kind of helped to raise the urgency tonight in Texas high school football.
Well, and I think another reason that this was such a crazy week is because, as y'all were mentioning, there's a lot of district games that really, really counted here. But how about we go back to the Friday night focus and we look at, there was even larger implications in that state-ranked showdowns. We saw some last night that we'll talk about. Carter Yates was at one of them. We saw a lot of them tonight, but I'm talking like number 2 versus number 3. It's crazy enough to have those games in week 5, but especially when you're in the same district as them, Tepper.
Exactly right. Some of these games in district play have a lot of stakes. There are other games, even a lot of the non-district games were state-ranked games. I mean, La Vega and Stephenville is a perfect example of two really good teams going at it in 4A Division 1, 4A rather, 4A Division 1, 4A Division 2. Dilion and Munster is another example of two teams state-ranked that we have really high hopes for. And suddenly, here in week 5, for a lot of them non-district finales, an opportunity to really get one more good look at them before they go into those games that count. So you're exactly right. Even the games that don't have those district stakes, now they have those stakes because we know these are two good teams.
Absolutely. And we go to our third and final point here on our Friday night focus, things that you should be watching out for in tonight's show, and it's rivalries that take center stage. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, that gets Texas high school football fans more pumped up than those crosstown showdowns, and we are going to see a handful of them tonight.
Well, and I think what's fun about especially the rivalries here in week 5, some of them are long-standing rivalries we don't have to tell, that have been played for years and years. We're going to talk about ARP and Troop, which is a 7-mile rivalry out there in East Texas. They've played each other a long, long time. But you've also got kind of newfound rivalries. The game you were at, Iowa Colony and Randall, is quickly becoming a newfound rivalry. I would even add San Antonio Piper and Smithson Valley down there in Comal ISD. And so those types of games, I think, give it that extra juice. And I think that helps make games or nights like tonight even more special.
Tepper, you've been covering high school football a long time.
He's calling you old.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
I'm calling him a
call
veteran.
him old.
I'm calling him seasoned.
Veteran's another word for old.
What rivalry has the best name to you
Oh my
in high
gosh.
school football?
Ooh, put him on the spot,
Oh,
too.
geez.
Come on, old man.
I don't. Do you have one that you?
I have one. It is Louisville, Flower Mound Marcus, Battle of the Axe.
Yeah.
Or what they used to call my high school locker room with all the Axe body spray.
Yeah. Very true. Very
Oh
true.
my God, he's so back. The Mound Showdown, come on. That
The
one's an
Mound
easy
Showdown's
one.
very
That's
good.
Incredible. That's in the same. I mean, Flower Mound's got 2 of them basically at
Yeah.
that point. Marcus has 2 of them rather. All right, so there we go. Our Friday night focus of games and things that you need to be keeping an eye out for as we head into it. How about we get caught up? If you watch Texas football today, you know that Tepper states his top 10 games of the week. Now, all of
Declares.
those that you see saying coming up means that we've got highlights, we've got reactions. So we'll talk about those a little bit later. But as of the ones that we don't, how about this? Frisco, Panther Creek, and Salina still in the 4th quarter when we got this graphic, and Salina was up 35-28. How about that one?
Yeah, I can tell you, I can update you as of 2 minutes ago, courtesy of our friend Matt Welch at Star Local Media. Panther Creek's got the ball 3rd and 10 from its own 30, trailing 35-28, a minute 38 left. A game that we thought was going to be one of the best games in the state, Carter Yates, and sure enough, it lived up to the hype.
I was so excited to see Dave Campbell's cover boy, Bo Bentley, going up against this Frisco Panther Creek secondary, because the top line guys on Frisco Panther Creek are as good as you will find in high school football, with Donovan Webb, the safety, committed to Texas Tech, Jalen Lott, the cornerback, wide receiver, committed to Oregon. Those guys play both ways, but can the tradition of Salina overcome the new, shiny
Yeah.
district team in Frisco Panther Creek? This is a newfound rivalry, I believe, because Frisco Panther Creek started playing varsity football in 2022, but quickly has turned into a lot of bad blood between these two programs. Makes it fun for us viewing the game.
We go to the 4th one here, Waxahachie and DeSoto. How about this one? Waxahachie in that mean District 11 6A comes off what can only be described as the Duncanville hangover. They go out there, they take on the number 1 team in 6A. They go out there and they do the unthinkable. They beat them 28-27, and this is what happens when you get caught looking ahead.
Well-
DeSoto romps them 40-17.
Well, and I'll tell you, I think that I want to say this. You know, we had Shane Tollison on our show on Texas Football Today on Thursday, and he talked about how they were going to be focused for this one. I think this says a lot more about DeSoto. This is a team that those first 2 weeks, I think everyone asked, including us sitting here at this desk, what's wrong with DeSoto? I think they have figured things out. And specifically, Carter, I think they figured out what they want to look like offensively, and that is just a lot of Sherrod Baker.
A lot of Sherrod Baker. He plays running back. He'll also play some quarterback. I think he had about 140 yards in the first half alone. And we had major questions about DeSoto coming into tonight, because at 2-2, they had beaten Corpus Christi Miller 77-7 and Mesquite 67-0 in back-to-back weeks. But those teams were combined 1-7. Waxahachie proved how talented they are and how good of a program they are with the win against Duncanville. And DeSoto proves, don't write them off just yet. Do not count them out.
We talk about Smithson Valley and San Antonio Piper down in the greater 2-1-0. Smithson Valley coming out with a 27-17 win. One of those that we talked about being kind of a recent rivalry to pop up. And look at that. Big Brother ends up finally getting it done.
Yeah, the Piper, the new kid on the block there in Kamal IC, you may remember they beat Smithson Valley last year in what could only be described as a real seismic victory for that young program. Smithson Valley kept the receipts, and the defense, I maintain, just continues to be the story for Smithson Valley. Their defense has been absolutely spectacular, and I think probably the most under the radar defending state champ that we've got going right now.
It's not often when you're a defending state champ that you get an opportunity for a revenge game.
Yeah, yeah.
Smithson Valley took advantage of it tonight.
And we'll round it out here with those last 2 of the small school games. Panhandle taking down Wellington 41-0, and Munster taking down De Leon 47-16. Oh my God, do you want to talk about Broxton Robinson and the Panhandle Panthers? I mean, we wondered if Wellington, being a smaller school, being, obviously less kids, the lines are a lot different size, would they be able to last the full 48 minutes, which is something we haven't seen them do a whole lot. Panhandle absolutely taking advantage of the Skyrockets tonight.
I'm a Broxton Robinson guy. I've made no bones about it. He put on a show. We thought it would be pointy. And how about Munster?
Yeah.
That's still punching up, by the way.
Up.
That's 2A Division 2 over 2A Division 1, but the Case and Carney agenda It's back on the
Oh,
docket.
man. I mean, we knew Case and Carney's a certified dog, but I had questions about their defense, if they could be state championship caliber still, because after surrendering 48 points to 3A Holiday and Pottsboro, I had questions on if they could handle the top-level teams in Class 2A, but against De Leon, coached by Brennan Whitaker, they proved they can.
I've been flying that Munster flag since day one, man.
Really, really impressive from Munster. Right now, to me, 2A Division II, right now, if I had to separate it. Now, Bremont got a nice win tonight over Mart as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Munster and Shiner feel like they are
leading the pack.
They feel like they're the teams to beat there in 2A Division II. We are just getting started here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We have got scores and highlights coming at you from all across the state. They're flying into the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership. We're going to be keeping you up all the way up until midnight if you hang with us. But coming up next, some Thursday action, including one of the games of the year. That's a tease if you stay with us.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antone. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Yo, these Katie's are fire. Bro, you work here?
Whatever, kid. Take notes. Yo, I can go all pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
Not anymore.
Fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
Billy needs cleats. You're right, Billy. These do bring out my house.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
Dick's is the GOAT.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott & White Health.
Welcome back, Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, a Week 5 edition. Week 5 of the Texas high school football season got kicked off last night with a slate of big-time games, almost all of them in district play, and Houston was the center of the Texas high school football universe, including a game in Katy ISD that you got to see to believe. It's our Baylor Scott & White Health first highlight of the night. It's Katy Pato taking on Katy Made Creek in the Houston area. Pick up the first quarter. This is going to be Jaden Knoll dropping back, hits Kenneth Lee out of the backfield. Pato goes up early 6-0. Still in the first. This time Christian Bradford going to carry it on the direct snap, take it in for 1 yard. Scored, not this game up at 6. Second quarter now. Adriel Gomez going to look, fire, find Christian Bradford there for the score. It's 13-6. Made Creek takes the lead. Then more from Made Creek, this time on the ground. Jamal Jones powers in for a 7-yard score. Made Creek's up 20-6. Back comes Pato. This time Knoll looking, firing deep. It's Derek Stevenson talking to his man there, 20-13. Then more from Made Creek. Gomez looking to Kennedy Bingham for a 19-yard score. What a grab. It's 27-13. Made Creek at the half. Third quarter. Jaden Knoll finds Derek Stevenson. 30-20. Made Creek still up. More from Pato. This time Javon Rodriguez. 74 yards in for the score. It's 30-27. Made Creek. Pato still clawing back. This time under 4 minutes to go. Rodriguez again. Final seconds. Made Creek. Bradford in for the walk-off score. Made Creek wins it 36-34.
Staying in Houston, now going to District 9 5A Division 2. The number 2 Richmond Randall taking on number 3 Iowa Colony, and Iowa Colony will get us started off there, an early 7-0 lead. After a turnover, they convert on this one. That's quarterback Carson White keeping it. Then another turnover led to another Iowa Colony score to go up 21-0. Second quarter, Richmond Randall, they've had enough of that, and it's Landon William Callis taking it in for the 3-yard punch. Second quarter, Landon Williams Callis bounced off the defender into the end zone, cut the deficit 21-14. Staying in the second quarter, Richmond Randall back to throw, and they find Cedric McClintock in the end zone. We're tied up 21-21. There goes Landon Williams Callis. He said no more, 28-21. They take their first lead into the third quarter now. Iowa Colony, Carson White. He said, I'll keep that, thank you. Tied back up 28-28. Third quarter now, Landon Williams Callis. He's going to bust through that line like my grandma on a Black Friday sale. 40 yards to the house. He puts the Lions up 35-28. Snip, snap, snip, snap. It's White's turn again. Then into the fourth quarter. It looks like Landon Williams Callis is going to be down there. No, he's not. He's bustling his way down the sideline. He'll take it on for a nice 69-yard touchdown all the way to pay dirt. Lions lead 42-35. Not giving up. Iowa Colony calls their most faithful play, and in he goes 42-42. Less than 90 seconds. It's Landon Williams Callis, and he goes on to win it in an absolute thriller, 49-42.
Talk to me a little bit about this team performance and the resilience that y'all had. I mean, down 21-0 in the first quarter, came back and won this game.
Sure, they really wasn't playing no good defense. It was just God had some adversity that I had to fight through, and then I had to fight through it, and I fought through it, and then we came up with the dub.
Now, this is a huge district win for you guys over Iowa Colony. How does this set you up for the rest of the season?
So I don't think we playing nobody else that's as good as them. We just got to get ready for them. Third round playoffs if they make it.
What's one thing that you guys can take away from this win tonight heading into the rest of the season?
So we got to start off fast. We can't start off slow. That's what we do it like. So, yeah, we got to start starting out fast. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Landon, thanks so much for the time, and congratulations on the win. Go enjoy it, man.
Yeah, so.
And it was our DCTF Rising Game of the Night as we appreciate Miss Mallory Hartley catching up with Landon Williams Callis. All right, taking a look at other Thursday night scores, gentlemen, across the state. We start off with Lake Travis there, 63-21 over Austin Bowie. Fulshire, 34-11 over A-Leaf Taylor. And how about this one? Lubbock Estacado, 14-7 over Canyon Randall.
Yeah, low-scoring taffy pull there in the South Plains. Grandview gets a wild 63-55 win over Longview Spring Hill in a bit of a head-scratcher there. Amarillo, the Golden Sandies get the win over Lubbock Monterey 37-21. And then Garland Naaman Forest edges out Garland 20-17. Two things I want to talk about. First of all, Lake Travis gets that win over Austin Bowie 63-21. That game was 14-0 Bowie, and then it wasn't as Lake Travis pulls away from a win. That's a really important win because Austin Bowie is the turnkey as far as Division I and Division II goes, especially for Austin Westlake. So that is a really important victory there for Lake Travis, and especially a team that's not involved in that game in Austin Westlake. And then I want to ask you, Carter Yates, because you were on the call of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Rising Game of the Week, which happened to be Richmond Randall and Iowa Colony. You were on the call. A wild affair, and I'm curious your overall takeaways from what you saw last night in that ballgame.
I think we saw the culture of Richmond Randall take effect in that game because they have not faced a lot of adversity in the last 20 games. Went 16-0 and then won the first 4 games of this year by probably 35 points each time. But Iowa Colony had this game circled on the calendar because they were 12-2 and had lost to Richmond Randall twice. Richmond Randall took their best shot. They fumbled the ball 3 times on about 6 carries. It was 21-0 right away. And then Richmond Randall storms all the way back, led by Landon Williams Callis, who had 4 of the single best runs I have seen all year. That's how you know Richmond Randall has a strong culture. They found out what they were made of last night, and I think they will be playing deep into December.
Yeah, they looked every bit the part of a state champion there last night. Real hard of a champion, I thought, win. And yes, we're going to talk a lot about Landon Williams Callis because he's really, really special. But I think what you saw there, you're exactly right, was a win for the culture there for Randall.
And I'm very interested. And remember, this is a team that played twice last year. They saw each other in the regular season. They saw each other in the regional final. Do not be surprised if this is another rematch going into the regional final. Randall's 3-0 on that one, but Iowa Colony's not going anywhere under Ray Garza. All right, so there you go. Rounding out some Thursday night scores. How about we have a couple more Thursday night highlights? This time, we are headed it down to the Coastal Bend as Ingleside is taking on Corpus Christi Ray. A young Ingleside team led by sophomore quarterback Landon Yonk visited Buck Stadium to take on the Ray Texans, who are on a 2-game winning streak. Early first quarter, balls loose. Texans in trouble, not so fast. Trip Thompson stays calm, cool, and collected. He jukes one man, switches directions, and he's gone, making it look easy there for the early score. Next possession, Here's a drop back, and Thompson drops it in the bucket for Massey. 2 drives, 2 scores for Ray. Then Trip Thompson continued to make it look like backyard football. Can't find anyone downfield? No problem. The man's going to use his legs again for the score, outrunning the entire Ingleside defense. It's the Texans sideline. They're playing footloose over here. Look at that Texan getting down to that. What a mascot. But Brian McCollum says, let me join the party. The bruising back shows his speed on a 48-yard scamper, finds the end zone, which he's very familiar with this season. And let's give the defensive shout-out. Big 4th down stops as a gaggle of Texans hop in the pile, and they make a stand before halftime. Ray played with pride and intention to go on to win 50-0.
To the Rio Grande Valley we go. Mission Veterans Memorial taking on Harlingen. We'll pick this thing up with Harlingen quarterback Hassan Woolery finding Dayton Morales in stride for the score. Harlingen goes up 7 love. Then Veterans going to get in on the action. Down 9-0. They're going to hand the ball off to Roman Reyna. Rather, he's going to keep it. Get in for the score. Vets goes up 9-7. Then, this time, Huerta again on the handoff this time. He's going to get in for the score. Vets cuts the lead to 16-14. Then, more from Harlingen. They will not go away, especially on the ground. It's Noah Huerta again. In for the score. Cardinals tied up 23-23. Got a good one brewing in the Valley. Then, this is going to be the outstanding running back, or the outstanding quarterback Cisneros here for the Cardinals. Taking it in for the score. They're up 37-23. Ball game, right? It's under 2 minutes left. This is Roman Reyna. Going to take it himself. Will go in 45 yards for the score. That would pull the Veterans Memorial Patriots within 1. And David Gilpin says, nah, we don't play for overtime. We play to win. They go for 2. Reyna looking. Fernando Villarreal. Patriots win it in a thriller. 38-37 after they untangle that. It is good. And Mission Veterans Memorial brings home a thrilling 38-37 win.
How about we head to the Super Syntax? Chaparral, 2-1 start to the year. Their first district test tonight on the road against the Wolves of Cedar Park. The first half, it was the Trey Samuel Frosttail show. He was Cedar Park's entire offense, finding the end zone not once, not twice, but 3 different times. The opening drive, Hill's first one was from inside the 10. He then later ran for a 27-yarder to extend the lead 14-0. Then after a field goal, Trey Samuel Frosthill scoring from the 1-yard line, his 3rd touchdown of the night, as Cedar Park jumped out to a 23-0 lead. But Chaparral wouldn't leave empty-handed. Later in the second quarter, Bryson Coleman from inside the 10 scrambles, and he finds open Dalton Ford the score there. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Cedar Park led 26-6 at the half, but in the end, Cedar Park goes on to win it 57-14.
It's a good win there for Cedar Park team. Of course, it's got plenty of pedigree themselves, and the Timberwolves trying to get back in the mix there. Cedar Park looking very strong there in Central Texas, a long-time power in the Austin area. They come away with a very big win over Chaparral. Let's go out east now. Timpson taking on Wolf City at Clyde Perkins Stadium on the campus of Tyler Grace Community. And Timpson's Jeffrey Richardson is going to take the inside handoff, bounce off a tackler, and he is off to the races. He is gone 50 yards for the score. Extra point is good. It's 7 love Timpson. They're playing in the band. Then Albert Parker Jr. for Timpson, looking in the gun, rolling, then decides to take it himself. He's gone 61 yards to the house, 14-0 Bears. Then Wolf City, or rather it's more from Timpson. This time the handoff to Jeffrey Richardson again. Stays behind his blockers, in for a 3-yard score. Extra points good. It's 21-0 Timpson. Then Wolf City would get on the action. Noah Adams from the gun. Quick drop, fires to the flat to Judd Northcutt on the skinny post, and the big tight end rumbles in for the score. It's 69 yards for the score. Pitch and catch. Wolf City within 21-7, but too much from Timpson in this one. Parker looking, finding his man in for the score. It's a 19-yard touchdown run. The quarterback keeper, rather, 28-7. Timpson goes on to win this one 61-48 in a game that got very pointsy late in this one out in East Texas. But Timpson is your winner tonight, or last night, 61-48. So this was a really exciting Thursday night of action across the state of Texas. And as you see, the score for Timpson and Wolf
You
City.
just can't get enough football on Dave Campbell's Texas
Absolutely.
Football tonight. They don't want to look at you. They want more
Yeah,
football.
Exactly right. I would say that overall Thursday night, you're going to start seeing more and more of it as we get into district play and teams start sharing sharing stadiums. So Dave Campbell's Texan Live, by the way, has got a ton of these games. But the story from the night has got to be Randall and Iowa Colony. But I think that overall, we mentioned that the Houston area was really the center of the Texas high school football universe last night.
Yeah, I think so too, exactly. But I want to take it back to Missions Veterans Memorial beating Harlingen because I was texting with David Gilpin this morning, and he said they were down 37-23 with 1:40 remaining, 4th and 10 on their own 20. The win probability is probably less than 1% there. And then Roman Reyna battles through a hamstring injury, has him limping down the field the entire fourth quarter, gets the 44-yard rushing touchdown you saw. He had 249 passing yards and 160 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. I think that was the comeback of Thursday night, maybe rivaled with Richmond Randall coming back from 21.
Well, and again, we talked earlier about culture wins. That's a David Gilpin culture win down there at Mission Veterans Memorial. That's one of the toughest teams you'll see.
Especially going for it.
Exactly
like
right.
That puts the exact message in your team's mind of like, hey, I trust you. This is exactly what we want. So there you go. Some incredible Thursday night action, but we told you it was a wild, wild night in Friday night action. We've got Score Zones, coaches, interviews, and everything else coming up for you right here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight, right after the break.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Fueling the Future Award, presented by Dutch Bros, honors exceptional teachers across Texas who go above and beyond to energize and inspire their students every day. These educators exemplify passion, dedication, and a commitment to shaping the leaders of tomorrow. Each month, one deserving teacher is recognized with a commemorative award and a $500 donation courtesy of Dutch Bros to support their academic department and further their impactful work in the classroom. To nominate your teacher, visit texasfootball.com/fuelingthefuture.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antone. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need. So you can get in, get out, and get back out there. Like fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. We're partying Friday night style, Texas high school football style, on a wild Week 5 of Texas high school football across the state. Of course, texasfootball.com/scores has all your scores. I'm Greg, that's Carter, that's Ashley. And why talk to us when we can talk to people who are actually involved in the games? A huge game in the Super Centex area tonight. Battle of Unbeatens between Temple and Killeen Shoemaker. And what a thriller it was as Killeen Shoemaker brings home a thrilling 31-28 victory over Temple on a last-second field goal. And we are pleased to be joined by the head coach of the now 5-0, there you see it, Shoemaker, a 31-28 winner over Temple tonight. We're pleased to go to the Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Hotline and talk to the head coach of those 5-0 Killeen Shoemaker Gray Wolves, Coach Toby Foreman. Coach, I imagine your heart rate right now is a little bit better than it was when your kicker was lining up for a game-winning field goal. Am I right?
Yeah, tonight was wild, and I will tell you, that's the 6th time that I've coached against them. Previously 0-5, but man, it does not get any better than that. We've not beaten them in 21 years, and we're going to celebrate like that tonight.
As you should, Coach. Congratulations. So obviously, you know this better than anyone. When you go into Temple, it's a hostile environment to play in. Massive stadium, great crowd as always. What was the message to your team tonight before you took the field?
Well, I'm a history person. I'm a history minor, and I'm very familiar with Bob McQueen. The field's named after him. You know, when they score, the lights flicker and their band is behind us. It's a great atmosphere. I'm an alumni of West Orange Stark. It really reminds you of that atmosphere, Port Neches Grove atmosphere. I'm a Southeast Texas guy. This is the one place in the Centex where you can get that kind of action. And to win a game in that stadium, it don't get no bigger than that for myself and our program.
Coach, our Wolves are 5-0 for the first time since 2020. What is it about this squad that has y'all rolling this year?
We're a great team, and that started in the offseason. You know, Dan Hooks is a guy that mentored me for a long time, and we won games in the offseason. And this group bought into that. You know, we lost kids that transferred out of here that had really big roles on the team, but it was next man up, and we really came together. And these guys just refuse to lose, and they love each other, and they play together as a team.
Coach, I would imagine that obviously beating Temple is impressive, but more importantly, you guys are 1-0 in district play. Next week, you guys are taking on Midway, who is rolling as well. When you take a look at what you're up against in District 12 6A, I'm curious from a coach's perspective what you see.
Well, it's great coaches and great players. I mean, Coach Gillespie about 4 years ago was coaching the national championship as a defense coordinator at TCU. And so, I mean, you know, tonight the defense coordinator was a guy named Thomas Rocco that used to be a college DC. Coach President's done a great job. But there's great coaching and there's great players. We've got about 9 or 10 D1 guys on our team that have offers right now. We got a couple more that are about to get some offers after this game.
And, Coach, finally, I do want to ask you a little bit about the way that you guys are playing, especially on the offensive side. You guys are spreading the ball around. You guys got seniors, juniors, sophomores, all pitching in. This is, you know, I know that players are watching NFL. They're watching college. They like to see highlights. How do you get your guys to buy in on a team where it's not necessarily predicated on making stars? There's not necessarily one guy on your team who's the guy. How do you get your guys to buy in?
No, I don't believe in that. We're a spread offense. But for me, it doesn't mean spread out on the field. It means spread the ball around. And so if you play in this offense, you're not going to have a whole lot of stats that are better than the other guy. But you got to be ready when your number's called. Tonight, one of the biggest plays in the game was from our backup quarterback, Rashad Hicks Jr., to a tight end that got thrown in the starting lineup tonight, Jihad McCoy. And that was the biggest play of the game.
He's Toby Foreman. He's the head coach of the 5-0 Shoemaker Gray Wolves. Coach, we so appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the win, and enjoy this one until maybe another hour or so.
Go Gray Wolves.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you. There he goes, Toby Foreman, head coach of the Killeen Shoemaker Gray Wolves. That was a matchup of unbeatens, a District 12 6A opener for both of them, and a massive, massive win for Shoemaker to get off on the good foot in what is a brutally tough District 12 6A.
Oh, first off, Coach being from Southeast Texas, just like, oh man, you could tell. Like, you could just tell. He fits that bill.
Real hell yeah, brother.
Hell
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
brother. But no, I mean, this was an incredible win for Shoemaker because you're going into a Temple program that not only, like we've mentioned multiple times, is a tough place to play. You were going into a white-hot Temple team. They just got Chad President as the head coach. They're rolling on a high coming into this 4-0. Running back Brandon Brown Jr. has been incredible this year for them. And, of course, their defense too. That was an experienced unit coming back that they knew that they could rely on, and clearly that showed against a Temple offense that no one's been able to stop them so far.
It was Joshua Narvaez Torres who knocked through the game-winning 28-yard field goal there for Shoemaker. And Carter, I'll just say this. We've talked a lot about culture wins. Like for Shoemaker, they give up a game-tying score with about 1:30 left. And yet, there's no panic. They get in field goal range, and they take care of their business, come away with a win. That, to me, speaks to the culture that Toby Foreman's building.
And it's especially impressive for a team that hasn't been 5-0 since 2020.
Yeah.
So it's not as if they are used to winning in these adverse situations all the time, because to go 5-0, that means you are constantly coming back from behind and fighting adversity. So just a credit to Toby Foreman and his staff. Let's
go to some other Super Centex scores as we take a look around the greater Waco area. Chilton gets a 14-0 win tonight over Goldthwaite. How about the Armadillos of San Saba?
Armadillos!
Going on the road to a reigning state semifinalist in Hamilton and come away with a gutty 17-14 win. Wild six-man game. Ooh. Coolidge, a minor upset over Oglesby. Oglesby was unbeaten coming into that game. Great win for Coolidge. Killeen Harker Heights hands Hewitt Midway their first loss of the year. Speaking of District 12 6A, Lampasas a winner of Waco University, and Bremont comes back and knocks off Mart in a big game. Carter, what do you see from that tonight?
Well, I'm looking at Killeen Harker Heights and quarterback Hudson. Sit down and be humble. He came into this night with 1,344 yards through 4 games, but they had kind of a puzzling loss with 7 points last week. They get back on the right foot against former TCU defensive coordinator Joe Gillespie and that defensive unit over there, putting up 24 points. That is nothing to scoff at.
Well, and Shoemaker now going on to play Midway next week. And what's going to be interesting is I feel like when you take a look at Harker Heights and you take a look at Temple, they both play pretty fast, and that's what we wondered if Midway was going to struggle with. They've got a very solid defensive unit, but when you match them up in the skill talent against really, really fast playmakers, which Colleen Shoemaker has, they're going to have to practice and go with what they did wrong against Harker Heights to figure out what they need to do to beat the Shoemaker team, or else we might be looking at a District 12 5A champion.
Mart and Bremont, I want to make sure we touch on this as well. Mart, a longtime power there in Super Centex, under first-year coach Chris Lancaster. But I think this is more about Bremont than it is about Mart.
Yeah, Bremont is my state championship pick, and it's largely because of Tank Scott, who last year had 1,954 rushing yards, 30 touchdowns, and 191 tackles.
Heck yeah, brother.
And he is doing similar numbies this year, too.
Some might say he plays like a tank.
I love it.
Yes.
There we go, Pickle. Up top.
We're doing it. We're doing the darn thing.
I'm in hell right now.
How about we get you out of hell and we go to the South Plains instead? We head way out west and check into some score updates there. Idalou, a big winner over Shallow Water, 45-20 in a shocking. I think that you can qualify that as shocking. Farwell goes out 25-24 to knock off the Antelopes of Post.
Yeah, I thought Post was a clear favorite in this one, especially coming off of last week's gutty win over Slayton. But Farwell ups and gets them. Wichita Falls City View a winner tonight over Childress, 52-27. That's a bit of a surprise as well, especially the way that Childress I think had been playing 3-1 on the year. But Wichita Falls City View goes on the road and gets the win. Plainview winner tonight over Lubbock Cooper, 37-22. Keep an eye on Lubbock Cooper Liberty. That's the new program there in Lubbock Lubbock Cooper ISD out there. They are a problem. They roll past Fort Stockton tonight, and Clyde edges past Muleshoe, 54-49.
I want to touch on Wichita Falls City View and that big win over Childress, because last year in the fall we wrote a feature story on former coach Heath Aldridge, who passed away from a cancer battle this offseason. He led the team to a 9-3 year last year, and new coach Akeem Levinston is keeping his legacy alive. This team is this year. Hunter Brown had the catch of the night, a one-handed snag in the back of the end zone. So very impressive stuff from Wichita Falls City View.
Go ahead.
Oh, no.
I don't
had
want
something.
I think that's awfully impressive. And then I want to also touch, again, I think on Idalou. That's a really nice win over a Shallow Water team that we have really high hopes for, but Idalou getting it done there.
A big rivalry game.
Yeah.
They renewed that rivalry 3 years ago, and Idalou hadn't won it yet.
Yeah.
So
that's
they get on the board.
Big win for Idalou.
The big one I wanted to point out was the Muleshoe and Clyde game. I think that Clyde came in as the favorite. They're a larger school. They're a 3A Division I school rather than a 3A Division II. But I think this says big things with how close that game was about what Bo Dickinson's Mules are doing out there. They now moved to 2-3 on the season, but their losses have been against New Home, a very good team, and then Canadian. I think this is a Muleshoe team that more people need to pay attention to, but punching up and taking on a very good Clyde team, I would consider that a good loss out there for the Mules.
It's a good example of a team that I think is better than their record may indicate there. That's the South Plains out there, kind of greater Lubbock area, very different from the Panhandle. They will let you know that. Meanwhile, let's go from the South Plains to the greater Wichita Falls area and check out what's going on there in the Falls. Big time action out there. How about Jim Ned? Yeah. Going on the road to take down Holiday tonight, 48-20. Really impressive from the Indians, who played a brutal non-district schedule, but that is a huge, huge victory. Paradise edges past Vernon. We'll talk about them in a minute, because I don't talk about 3A Division I with you. Abilene Cooper gets a win over Wichita Falls Memorial, newly ranked Wichita Falls Memorial, but that is a good win there for Abilene Cooper. Peaster remains unbeaten with a 27-0 win over Bowie. St. Joe wins a 6-man game over Lomita, 68-55. And the Pied Pipers of Hamlin go to Quanah and bring home a 36-6 win. So Paradise is
cracks knuckles.
Let me tell you something, because we do the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press rankings, And Carter has been our point guy for the 3A rankings. It's a team effort, but he kind of takes the first, does a lot of the dirty work on it.
I volunteered as tribute.
Correct. And
well, you're paying for that.
And 3A Division 1 is absolute chaos right now. Paradise looking pretty good.
Hey, Paradise is like Littlefinger from Game of Thrones saying chaos is a ladder. Let me take a win and rise up. I was really impressed tonight by Paradise's #1 rated linebacker core in Class 3A. We rated them that over the summer because Vernon had 4 guys with over 100 rushing yards going into this game. So they did a hell of a job and could have made a case for #1 potentially because no one wants to be #1 right now.
No.
It sounds like.
No, it absolutely not. The #1 team in the state was Franklin. They were losing, or rather, #1 team in the state was Winsboro. They lost tonight. And then Franklin was #2, and they were losing last we saw to Houston Legacy.
4 different #1s so far. Columbus, Franklin, Winsboro. Wait, was it 3? I'm not a math guy.
And well, there will be a 4th one.
There will be a 4th guy, yes.
With Winsboro.
We're loading up.
Yeah, absolutely. But Peaster remains unbeaten, 27-0 winners tonight over Bowie. And I believe Abilene Cooper handed Wichita Falls Memorial their first loss of the year. So impressive stuff there in Wichita Falls. We are just getting started here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, a Week 5 edition. Of course, go to texasfootball.com/scores for all of the scores. Coming up here in just a moment, we're going to take you down to, what's my my rundown say?
Producing on the fly.
Going to the Houston area and Big Country according to this piece of paper, if you stay where it is.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Texas Army National Guard are honored to present the Coach of the Week Award, celebrating one head coach in 7 different classifications. That's 6A all the way down to 6-man, and of course, private school every single week. Think your head coach deserves some recognition? Nominate them under our weekly Twitter and Facebook post. Those will come out Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 8:30 p.m., and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. That's facebook.com/Dave Campbell's or at DCTF on Twitter. Thank you to Texas Army National Guard for helping spotlight the hard work and dedication of high school head coaches across Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Sport Tyler to award the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week, which recognizes the top offensive player in Division I college football, who also exhibits the enduring characteristics that define Earl Campbell: integrity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, drive, community, and tenacity. It all leads up to the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, announced in January. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week. For more information, visit earlcampbellaward.com.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Garage Door Doctor to spotlight 10 deserving teen moms across the DFW Metroplex. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Teen Mom Appreciation Award. Think you know a deserving teen mom? Head on over to www.texasfootball.com/teenmom to submit a nomination.
I tell people all the time it's a special place to be. Atascocita is a big school, but it has a small town feel, and that's intentional. We want to make sure everyone is treated like a family member here at Atascocita High School. And when you're family, you're always at home. And so whether family disagrees or we agree, ultimately at the end of the day, we're going to love and rally around one another, and that's what makes Atascocita High School special.
Welcome back into Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, the after party for Texas high school football, and boy are we partying after a wild week 5 of Texas high school football. Still stuff left to go on Saturday. We're not done yet, but for tonight, a wild one, and what a better way to introduce a wild outcome for tonight than to bring on our Texas high school football insider, Matt Stepp. Matthew was out at Stephenville and Waco La Vega as The Yellow Jackets take down the Pirates 64-28. You're reading that right, 64-28. Step, I think that we can all say that we expected Stephenville to come in as the favorite in this game. They're ranked number 4 in the state. Okay, 64-28. I don't think we expected this. What in the world happened down there for Stephenville?
I think Trot Jordan and Zyler McClendon happened for the Stephenville Yellow Jackets. That offense was absolutely rolling tonight. They raced out to a 41-7 lead. They got a block punt recovery for a touchdown. It was all clicking for Stephenville early on tonight. It was an avalanche of Stephenville offense, and that was really the story tonight. I talked to Coach Doty after the game, Stephenville head coach, and he said his offense tonight executed at the highest level they've executed at all season thus far.
So, Step, I know the story is that Stephenville offense, but the Stephenville defense returned 10 of 11 starters this year. They were all over the position group rankings in Class 4A heading into the year, holding Waco La Vega to 24 points. That's a state champion finalist offense last year that returned Courtney Park, QB, Jabari Thornton, wide receiver. What'd you see from that defense?
Yeah, I think they a lot of La Vega's points came when the game was already out of reach. When the game was competitive, I thought they did a great job of harassing quarterback Courtney Parr, making La Vega one-dimensional. They couldn't run the football. They controlled the line of scrimmage, and I thought that was really the biggest key tonight was Stephenville's ability to control the line of scrimmage and make La Vega basically a one-dimensional football team tonight.
Hi, Matt. It's Greg from work. I want to ask you a little bit about what we've seen tonight across Texas high school football. We were talking a little bit earlier about how it's been a long time since we've seen a night like tonight where everything goes a little bit crazy town banana pants. From your perspective, we're not overreacting, right? Tonight has been pretty wild across the state.
It's been pretty bizarre. There's been some absolutely bizarre results. I mean, there's about 10 games that I just was like, what the heck just happened, And some of them ended up, the favorite ended up winning, like Highland Park and Tyler. But, Highland Park's up 21-0. Tyler is up 10 with 3 minutes left. Highland Park scores twice in the last 3 minutes to win the game. A&M consolidated in Austin Anderson going to 6 overtimes. Unbelievable. And that's not even counting all the upsets that happened tonight. I mean, you could go down a list, a lot of big upsets tonight. It's been a wild night of Texas high school football.
It's Step's favorite type of night of high school football. Matthew, thank you for your courage. We appreciate you hopping on. Get back safe. Go get you some post-game eats, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
They left the lights on for me. I'll see y'all later.
Good people out there in Stephenville, Texas. All right, we take a look at more scores across the big country, and I mean, just a banger to start off with. A shocking surprise as Anson takes down Albany 20-6. This was not on anyone's radar.
No, I think this is a real upset. Now, Anson's 5-0. Like, let's put some respect on what they've got cooking out there, but certainly an upset there. Strong gets a win over Zephyr, 68-38 in six-man action. Speaking of let's put some respect on them, let's put some respect on Kahoma, okay? Kahoma is now 5-0 on the year with a nice win over Wink. Great win for them. And so we'll round these out. Stanford gets a win over Henrietta. Petrolia gets a win over Haskell. And then Wall all over Sweetwater, 35-0. But Kahoma, I got to be honest, Carter Yates, I think I'm in. I think I'm in on Kahoma.
I think I'm a Kahomer. This defense came into the night allowing 5.75 points per game. 6'4", 215-pound Landon Wells has 7 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. And sophomore Caleb Rodriguez had 5 interceptions entering tonight's game. They hold a high-powered Wink offense to 14 points. That's a 4A D2 team they just took down as a 3A D2.
Yeah, it's Kamid Fashan, the outstanding running back there for Wink, and they were able to bottle him up in a big way. Wall keeps on rolling, too, in really impressive fashion.
Oh, yeah, Wall, it seems like right now the team to beat when it comes to 3A right there. But I want to go back and talk a little bit about this win of Stanford over Henrietta. Mm-hmm. I think that Stanford probably could have come in as your favorite, but this is a team that we just can't figure out, okay? They go out and they beat a good De Leon team 33-20. Then they go and they fall against Lubbock Christian, who's a great private school team, and you're going, okay. Then they go out against Roscoe, and they win, and it's snip, snap, snip, snap. I feel like this is the first time that we can look at the Stanford Bulldogs and go, okay, they seem to have figured it out. A really good team win there from Stanford over Henrietta. And there are some big country scores. Now, Greg Tepper, UT's big country in the toss to break. How about we head down to H-Town?
Okay. We can do that. Huge action in Houston tonight, including a massive matchup of unbeatens in Klein ISD. It's Klein and Klein Collins live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. Klein Collins starts the game off with Brylan Jefferson plunging in for the score. Then the Bearcats of Klein would answer back with this long kickoff return here from Edward Kelly Jr. That would set them up in great field position, and they don't need great field position because Edward Kelly Jr. would make sure he gets credit for this on a 10-yard run into the end zone. It's touchdown Bearcats, and we are knotted up at 7. Then Klein Collins would be back at it. This time Brylan Jefferson again in for the score. And then who else for Klein but Edward Kelly Jr.? He's going to get the handoff off the right side, cuts it upfield in for a 40-yard score. They would have the lead at the half. But a Bearcats fumble here for Klein would set up Dylan Mitchell, who will recover it and run in for a long touchdown, 75-yard touchdown there, and everything's going Klein's way. But Collins would have a response. This, Braden Schagen looking deep. It's a dot to Aiden Benford for the score. Collins goes on to knock off Klein 36-30 as Braden Schagen powers his way in for the score. Let's go to District 23 6A. Atascocita taking on CE King. CE King starts early. Darnell Bradley finding Timothy Potts for the score. Or Timothy Potts rather to Darnell Bradley. Then Atascocita not letting up Christopher Toney. Breaking tackles in for a 35-yard score. Atascocita is like, you want to get in a track meet? We can do that. Atascocita with a scary touchdown here from Carday Mack. Narrowly avoids being sacked. Looking, finding Keldrick Jenkins, who will get in for the touchdown. Atascocita knots it up again. Then more from Atascocita and more from that man, Carday Mack. It's a 55-yard touchdown run for Mack, and they knot it up again. CE King, though, will get the lead right before half with Timothy Potts looking, firing. Antoine Sanders wide open for the score. He runs it in for the score. Then we're knotted up, but CE King will not go away. Deion Sims, 80 yards. Large Bills only in this one, as CE King takes the lead. Then more from CE King. After Atascocita pulled within one, it's Dylan Mitchell taking it back for an 80-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. And CE King would not look back from there. This time, Panthers, Deion Sims, 65 yards stepping through tackles. He will not be stopped until he crosses that goal line. It's another touchdown for CE King. They're pulling it away. And finally, CE King, Deion Sims, his 6th touchdown of the night, a 70-55 win for CE King, knocking off Atascocita. Wow. Let's go to some other Houston area scores. Columbus with a 20-7 real taffy pull win over Belleville. Ridgepoint does mean things to Fort Bend Travis tonight, 49-9. Pearland all over Manville, 66-14. Sealy on the road, nice win over Needville. LaPorte gets a win over Friendswood, 57-21. And the Woodlands College Park, a winner tonight over Conroe Grand Oaks.
I'll tell you what, that Pearland score is the one that really sticks out to me there. They're number 7 in 6A, so I know that shouldn't be that much of a surprise, but now 5-0 on the season. BJ Gott's team is just absolutely going after it. Senior athlete Jamari Champion has been their calling card on the rushing attack, and they look like an incredible team, Carter.
Yes, I think so. The one that sticks out to me is Columbus taking down Belleville 20-7. So Columbus might just be a different type of football team from the one we saw last year, because they have scored over 30 points just once this season. Last year, they never scored under 35. But Belleville was a team that held the last 3 teams they played to an average of 12 points per game, and Columbus shows they can win a rock fight.
Yeah, they absolutely do. It was a really impressive victory there for Columbus, and I think you're right. We get so used to seeing teams and having an identity. And last year, Columbus, they're good defensively, I want to be clear, but en route to a state championship, but their headliners were on the offensive side, right? Adam Schobel, Mr. Texas Football, Grayson Rigdon, their outstanding running back, who's now at Arizona State, might be playing tonight, actually. But this is, I think, for Columbus, proof that, yeah, we can win in a different way. And I think that's something that I'm impressed by. And for me, if that Columbus defense can take a step forward, I think they've got an opportunity to be just as good. I think that's also a really important bounce-back win for LaPorte as they keep on rolling.
Absolutely. How about we take a look at some DFW scores across the state as we make our way from Houston up I-45 and we check out what was happening in the DF-Dub. We go ahead and we start here with Melissa, a big win over district rival Anna, 40-34. Argyle, 58-35 for Colleyville Heritage. Texarkana Pleasant Grove 42-30 against Sunnyvale. North Forney taking the dub 35-16 over Forney. The Battle of the Axe, Louisville, in an absolute thriller that we'll get to in just a second here, pulls it out 33-28, and we rounded it out with Arlington Heights 32-14 over Chisholm Trail. I know, Carter, that you had your eyes all over that Louisville and Flower Mound Marcus game. What did you take from that?
Flower Mound Marcus had the lead for almost the entire game. The defense was doing a great job limiting that high-powered Louisville offense, but then we saw Louisville and quarterback Trey Williams just kind of unlock in that fourth quarter, and they got some help from a bad snap, I believe, a fumble from Flower Mound Marcus. So a quarterback duel between Colton Nussmeier and Flower Mound Marcus. He is the brother of Garrett Nussmeier, Flower Mound Marcus legend, now at LSU, balling out there. But Trey Williams now, class of 2027, watch out for him and this Louisville team.
A lot to get into here. Melissa gets a win over Anna in impressive fashion. Melissa is a team that I've got my eye on. They go and they take down an Anna team that had been resurgent, but a really nice win there for the Cardinals. Argyle, a critical win in District 3 5A Division 2 on the road, taking on I think a really under the radar Colleyville Heritage team. They get it. And how about North Forney? 5-0 North Forney with a win in their rivalry game.
The Marcus Shavers effect
against Forney High.
And that's a huge win because District 10 6A has 3 teams in the top 25. It's number 15 North Forney, number 19 Rockwall, number 20 Longview. So not only a huge rivalry win, but a huge district win to get ahead in the playoff standings.
And then I do want to ask you, Carter, are you doing okay? Arlington Heights wins 32-14.
They lost their unscored upon streak.
They get a win, 32-14. They are still undefeated, but you wrote a piece this week on TexasFootball.com about how Arlington Heights was the final team that had not been scored.
Oh, it's the Carter effect.
Are we saying that's a Carter curse because they won over Fort Worth Chisholm Trail?
I'm seeing a 14 there. That's all I'm seeing.
Listen, you can't pitch a shutout the entire season.
Not with that attitude.
Ever done that.
Not with that
Carter
attitude.
curse.
But I got faith in Coach Curtis James and his 3 boys that are on this team. Senior defensive end Kanan James committed to UTEP, and then Carter on the defensive line, Carson at running back.
I see it. Now I get it.
No,
you can go read that on TexasFootball.com and the Carter curse and all of the good things. All right.
Who will Carter curse this week? Stay tuned at TexasFootball.com.
Well, hopefully it's none of these players because we want to encourage you. Did you see a stellar performance tonight? Well, go ahead and go to forwardplayeroftheweek.com/nominate to nominate your impressive standout players for the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week. We announce them every single Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. on the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week show. All of that leads up to naming the Built Ford Tough Player of the Year. Go to forwardplayeroftheweek.com/nominate. We will be back with the after party right after the break.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Higginbotham have teamed up to find the most driven team in Texas. This fall, 10 finalists will be highlighted throughout the season, with one student athlete from each team receiving the Most Driven Scholar Athlete Award for their leadership in the classroom, along with $1,000 in tuition assistance. In November, all 10 communities will rally to vote on TexasFootball.com, competing for the title of the most driven team in Texas. The school that rallies the most online votes will receive a $10,000 donation to their school, thanks to the support of Higginbotham. To learn more, visit TexasFootball.com/mostdriventeam.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need. So you can get in, get out, and get back out there. Like fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road. From up in Amarillo down to San Antonio. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
To Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, the after party. It continues here on TexanLive.com, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever you're partying with us. We appreciate you tuning in.
Friendster.
Okay, we're back to old man territory as we head west. And I'm talking way
Mountain
out
time zone.
west. Mountain time zone as we take a look at the El Paso region. We've got Isleta coming in over Austin at 43-28. El Paso Hanks 35-14 over El Paso Andreas. Then how about that? El Paso Franklin, they just keep doing the darn thing. 59-7 over Coronado. El Paso, let's see, where am I at? El Paso El Dorado 70-28 against El Paso Bel Air. Then Canutillo pitching a shutout 28-0 over El Paso High. And how about that? Del Valle 73-0 over the Silver Foxes of Jefferson.
Jake Fetty, the El Paser, getting it done for Del Valle.
I just have a note on the entire El Paso region, how good a football they're playing out there, because Greg Powers and Mallory Hartley of our Rising team made a video about this before the season, about this is the first time there have been 2 4-stars in El Paso, and it's Ryan Estrada at El Paso El Dorado and Jake Fetty at El Paso Del Valle.
I got it!
Revenge!
Success!
You did it, dude. I'm proud of you.
But then also El Paso Franklin with Justin Morales, the center, going to Kansas State, and the Ernie Power Hour.
Can I tell you, I think Ernie, this is where Powers and I, Greg Powers, I should be clear, not his brother Ernie.
Greg versus Greg? Are we in a Greg duel?
One of the issues I have sometimes with recruiting people is that if I see like a really good football player, I'm like, you guys should recruit him. Like, you should recruit guys who are
He's
really
a
good
dude
football.
who rocks.
Like Ernie Powers, like I don't know what his prospect status is, but like he should be, I don't know, like somebody should recruit him. That's my official take. As you see, El Paso scores from across the state of Texas. Let's go now to the Rio Grande, or rather, let's go east. We're going to go way out east, from west to east, where one of the biggest games in the state was a battle of unbeatens, a District 11 3A Division II opener tonight between Troop and ARP. They call it the 7-mile rivalry, and tonight it is all the Tigers of Troop. It could have been the Tigers of ARP, but it's the Tigers of Troop tonight. 42-6 winners over ARP, and we are pleased to be joined on the Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Hotline. We're pleased to be joined by the head coach of those undefeated Troop Tigers, Coach Sam Wells, joins us. Coach, we so appreciate your time. Congratulations on the win. I want to ask you a little bit about getting it done tonight with so much on the line. I know this has been a big spotlight game out there in East Texas, a battle of unbeatens. How were you guys able to focus and come out with a big-time win?
Well, I think, it's not hard to focus for the ARP game, for sure. Our kids have done a really good job all season of staying focused on the task at hand each week. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it went off. It's back on now, I think. Can you hear me?
We got you, Coach.
Okay. So our kids really stay focused on the task at hand each week. And, it wasn't hard to stay focused for that game, for sure. We've got a really veteran ball club. And so, staying focused for each week is not too difficult. So really proud of our kids and their performance.
And Coach, this is a big rivalry game, the 7-mile rivalry. And I know coaches say that they treat every game the same. It's just us versus us, but we're in the trust tree here. This game meant a little something extra, didn't it?
Oh, for sure. It always means extra. This rivalry is different than a lot of rivalries I've been a part of. It's really unique in the fact that, there's lots of family go back and forth between ARP and Troop. Being so close and stuff, and 364 days out of the year, we're pretty much brothers. So our rivalry is kind of like playing your brother, and so you want to win, and each side wants to win. And after the game, we're back to friends again. And so anyway, it's really unique.
Coach, you got about a 3-headed monster of juniors there with your quarterback Josh Childress, Brett Wells, and D. Holly. What in the world has you most excited about those three and what they're bringing to the table for your team?
Well, obviously, all those kids are juniors, which is really exciting. And they're all very explosive players. And then you add James Pierce to that mix, who had a huge game tonight for us. Who's another junior. And so we've just got lots of weapons, and we're very fortunate to have a lot of speed and a lot of weapons. And they're really doing a good job. Brett's a 3-year starter for us. And so he's got a lot of snaps in now, and all those kids started as sophomores. And so really, really proud of them and proud of our team.
Coach, I do have to ask you as well that, you guys, aside from, moving to 5-0 on the year, and aside from staying unbeaten and winning a big rivalry game, you opened District 11 3A Division II play with a really, really big win. This is a troop program that has not won an outright district championship since 2005. What is going to be your message to your guys moving forward, knowing that tonight was a big win, but there are other big obstacles in the path?
Oh, for sure. I think obviously our kids know that you have to take it week by week, number one, and we got a lot of work to do still to keep getting better. Beating ARP is definitely not our ultimate goal for the season. And so, we got a lot of good teams in our district that we still have to play. And so it's one game at a time, and focusing on the task at hand each week and focusing on getting better.
He's Sam Wells. He's the head coach of the undefeated Troop Tigers. Big winners tonight over their rival ARP. Coach, we sure appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the win, and go enjoy this one, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
There he goes. Sam Wells, head coach of the Troop Tigers. That's a really, really nice win for them against an ARP team that had allowed 17 points all season in their first 4 games, and then they go and they hang a 42 burger on them.
You said it was called the 7 Mile Bowl?
7 Mile rivalry,
7 Mile. It could have been called the 7 times as many points rivalry.
Ooh, burn.
6 times 7 is 42.
I hope there's no Troop fans listening right now.
You mean ARP fans?
ARP fans.
Yeah. ARP fans. My bad. Sorry.
Right. It's a huge, huge win for them, and they take control of District 11 3A Division II. That was one of the big games out in East Texas in a wild night of East Texas football. Let's go to the score zone and see what else was happening in East Texas, and there are some shockers here. How about Lindale? 64-28 winners tonight over Chapel Hill. Really impressive from Chris Cochran's bunch. How about Gladewater? The Bears take down Jefferson tonight, 28-27. Kilgore keeps on rolling with a win, 35-7 over Longview Pine Tree. Atlanta, ahead of next week's big game against Jefferson, they get a 39-14 win over White Oak. Palestine Westwood stays unbeaten, in a battle of unbeatens over Corsicana Mildred, 63-25. And there's another stunner. The number 1 team in 3A Division I, Winsboro, falls at the hands of Commerce, 51-13. You got anything to make sense of this?
Musical chairs.
Is that a stunner at this point?
No. I would be stunned if the number 1 team just handled business at this point.
Yeah, exactly right.
But also, I look at that Lindale score against Tyler Chapel Hill, and I know their running back last week against Gilmer, Hank the Tank Thurman, had 5 touchdowns. I know he balled out again tonight. They put up a 64 burger on him. And I know Gilmer might be a little bit down this year, but this is now back-to-back wins over perennial powers in East Texas, Gilmer and Tyler Chapel Hill for Lindale. They've raised my eyebrows the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Chris Cochran's ball coaching dude right there.
Yeah, for me, it was the Kilgore and Longview Pine Tree. And I think that obviously Kilgore coming in is the favorite here, but District 9 4A Division I is nasty. Okay. I mean, they already handled business against Texarkana Pleasant Grove, which obviously was out of district, a Gilmer, a White House team. They had an incredible non-district showing. This was that first test in district. They go out there and they get everything done. But you're still looking Tyler Chapel Hill in the eye, which don't let that anomaly make you think that Tyler Chapel Hill all of a sudden isn't going to contend for district. They always do. And then now you really got to watch out for Lindale, and Henderson will sneak up on you. That's a gruesome district, and for Kilgore to start off on the right foot is big doing by Clint Fuller's ball club.
It was a wild night in East Texas. Seems like it's always a wild night out east, but big scores out there. Of course, TexasFootball.com/scores is where you can find all of the scores. So we went way out west to El Paso. Then we went way out east to East Texas. Let's go back west to the Permian Basin. Call it Greater Odessa and Midland area and see what's cooking out there in the basin. You see tomorrow, big-time 6-man game between Abbott and Borden County. Speaking of 6-man, Rankin gets a win tonight over Rock Springs. Midland Greenwood. I'm a Midland Greenwood guy. That was a team I picked to win their region. They roll past Pecos tonight, 47-3. How about Odessa Compass, who gets a win tonight over Crane? I believe that was let me make sure I'm right here. Odessa Compass now 4-1 on the year. Keep an eye on what they've got cooking out there. Robert Lee beats Ackerley Sands tonight, 82-46, and it was Ira Ann all over Reagan County tonight, 69-14.
Ira Ann was 10-2 last year, the best season since 2018. They returned 8 starters on defense. Before tonight, had 16 sacks in 4 games, and almost blank Reagan County to 14 points. That's a pretty high-powered offense over there.
I'm going to agree with you on Midland Greenwood, man. Brian Hill, Llano's very own Brian Hill it's just insane. Between Lincoln Madrid, their quarterback, Nathaniel Romero, that is such an explosive offense. I mean, they can catch anybody on their toes, but their defense simultaneously has been just impressive. But yeah, go ahead and put my tokens in. I'm going with Midland Greenwood.
I'll just tell you, Carter, since you're sitting here and you're the king of this kind of stuff. Lincoln Madrid, Midland Greenwood quarterback. Here's a guy. Just take a look at the tape.
Pencil that in.
I think you're gonna be impressed with the guy that you see.
Let me get out my spectacles.
That's the Permian Basin.
You need a monocle.
We're gonna take a quick break here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We got more highlights rolling in the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Studios. Golden Triangle, Piney Woods, San Antonio, all coming up after the break.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antone. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texan Lives Athlete of the Month, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, shines a spotlight on one outstanding female and one exceptional male athlete each month who exemplify excellence on and off the field. This prestigious recognition celebrates student athletes who demonstrate remarkable athletic performance, unwavering dedication to their teams, and a commitment to their communities. To nominate your student athlete, scan the QR code on screen or visit texasfootball.com/athlete of the month. With support from Dick's Sporting Goods, we are proud to honor these young leaders who inspire their peers and represent the best of Texas high school sports.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott & White Health.
We're back and we're partying on the after party of Texas high school football. It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. And we're not going to bed yet because the people that party probably the hardest in this state are found down in southeast Texas. Let's head on out to the Golden Triangle as Silsbee and Hitchcock go against a big one here. We're going to start off in the third quarter because this is when stuff gets interesting. This is Brian Harris at the kickoff on the 17, and he's going to take it back 83 yards to the house. Brian Herron takes it back for Hitchcock, puts them up 12-6. Later in the third quarter, Silsbee runs speed option on the ball, hits the turf, and it's senior Brian Harris again. He scoops it up and finds the end zone, 45 yards to the house. 18-10, Hitchcock goes up. Still in the third, Silsbee outside the 10 as senior quarterback Jacaleb Johnson walks it in on the keeper. Silsbee now within 2. Still in the third, Hitchcock sophomore running back Cameron Taylor turns on the Jets, and in he goes, 24-16. To the fourth quarter, we finally go, and it is Deshaun Turner with the shake and bake, and they are up 30-16. Hitchcock knocking on the door of the red zone again as sophomore running back Cameron Taylor cuts it up 37-16. They win. And we head on now to the rest of the fun that happened in the Golden Triangle. We got a big one coming up tomorrow we'll talk about between West Orange Stark and Fort Bryn Crawford. Port Neches Groves, Jeff Joseph's ball club goes out there against Montgomery Lake Creek and gets the win 45-21. Port Arthur Memorial blanks Beaumont United 62-0. Woodville 62-35 against Trinity. Carthage has no problem blowing through Jasper 42-0. And finally we ended up with an absolute banger. Joaquin 27-26 over Corrigan Camden. Carter Yates, what catches your eye from the Golden Triangle?
Well, they're PNG. They're dynamite. The Port Neches Groves. Guys, I think Jackson Winfrey is the next linebacker in the Jeff Joseph factory coming up. I've watched his tape. He is an absolute stud. And they beat LaPorte and now come out against Montgomery Lake Creek. Don't skip a beat. I'm really excited to see what PNG can do this rest of this year.
Let's make sure we put some respect on Port Arthur Memorial right now. 5-0 now, big win on the road in Beaumont to take down Beaumont United. Keep an eye on those Titans. I think they are really rolling right now. So let's go from the Golden Triangle up north a little bit to the Piney Woods, where Lufkin was taking on Barbers Hill tonight. Pick up in the second quarter. Brady Barrier is going to find Keegan Morton, who's going to pass it again, this time to Trip Davis for the first score of the game. It's 6-0. Then with 5 seconds left before the half, That was 5 seconds before the half. They go on and extend their lead out to 8-0 or 7-0. Oh, I'm sorry, they punched it in 13-1 or 13-0. Now, Lufkin would have an answer here. This is Kenneth Waters. Goes 74 big ones on the first play of the second half to cut the lead down to 13-7. But that is as close as it would get because this time, Lufkin with the ball, looking, firing, and it's intercepted. Cole Ackerman, who's going to take it back inside the 20, and that would set up Jamal Jones in for a score. That would extend the lead to 20-7. Fourth quarter now. Barbers Hill looking to put this game away. Going to be Keegan Morton. Takes the snap. Fires out to the right side. He will get in for the score. Barbers Hill wins it 35-7. Let's stay in the Piney Woods. Check out some other scores going on out there. Grapeland gets a win tonight over Overton, 37-27. Timpson winners on Thursday night over Wolf City, 61-48. Huntsville, big win tonight over New Caney West Fork, a relatively new program down there in the greater Houston area. Pineland West Sabine's a winner tonight, 42-18 over Deweyville. Alto takes down Cushing tonight, 29-0, and Madisonville bounces back with a 21-14 slugfest win over Center.
Yeah, for me, I think that we need to talk about Timpson just a little bit. Obviously, a big win there over Wolf City. We saw the highlights earlier on our Thursday night recaps, but this is a team that we've been sitting there. You lose an incredible longtime coach, and in steps Patrick Gandy, and he turns around, and all of a sudden you've lost all your star playmakers and Terry Bussey and Vosky Howard, and it's kind of like, okay, when does the rebuild start to happen? They go out and they have an incredible week 1 win against West Sabine, and then they lose 2 of them, Lovelady, Palestine, Westwood. This felt like that really good bounce back and get back game for Patrick Gandy's squad. So interested to see what they do next week against Hooks, and then after that start district play. But a good win for the Bears.
And interesting because I know Wolf City running back H.T. Davis takes a lot of the headlines, and no doubt he had an awesome game. But Timpson running back Jeffrey Richardson stole the show with 36 carries for 268 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then quarterback Albert Parker had 26 carries for 170 yards and 4 touchdowns. That is 8 rushing touchdowns between 2 people.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
That'll get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to take San Antonio?
Yeah, why not? We head down to the greater San Antonio area as Belton is taking on the Gobblers of Cuero. Here are the highlights. We start off in the first quarter, and it's senior running back Gino Zecca. He's going to rush past him and get in for an 18-yard score to put the first points on the board. Then the Cuero coming back, it's wide receiver, none other, Walker Dietz, is going to go ahead and tie this one up. That was his 9th touchdown of the year, by the way. Then they go up 14-7. Now into the second quarter, it's Cuero's Melo Perez, and he's going to go 34 yards to tie the game back up with just 25 seconds before the half. So we go in tied up. Now we go ahead and skip over to the fourth quarter, and it is senior wide receiver Ozza Thomas, who, look at that grab in the back of the end zone. Incredible there, 42-37. Then wide receiver Gavin Ross is going to pull that one in, break the 2-man tackle, and take it in to put Belton up 43-42. Then finally, it's Jackson Marie who seals the deal as he brings that one in. The touchdown was followed by a 2-point conversion right there to Melo Perez. Cuero goes on to win an absolute thriller, 50-43 over Belton. We take a look at some other scores here in San Antonio. Brandeis and Johnson, a banger of a game that we're looking forward to tomorrow. Bernie Champion squeaks one out 57-50 over Seguin. Cibolo Steel, in a game we had our eyes on, 48-20 over Schertz Clements. Then Lavernia having their way with Marble Falls, 63-21. Poth, a massive 47-6 wins over Karnes City. And then finally, San Antonio Harlan, 55, San Antonio O'Connor 7.
Yeah, Harlan moves to 4-0 on the year, an important win there in District 28-6A, taking care of business against an O'Connor team that's still trying to find their sea legs. Poth, a big winner tonight over Karnes City. That's impressive to me. And Cibolo Steel, after that loss to Westlake, bounces back with a nice win within their school district and within their district.
Yeah, a get-right game for Cibolo Steel. I am looking at San Antonio Harlan and thinking they need to become a household name in the greater San Antonio area because 4-0 to start the year, went to the regional 4th round of the playoffs last year. Senior quarterback Aldrich Trotter is worth the price of admission.
Carter, this is kind of that time of the night where Tepper and I start needing a little bit of not necessarily a midnight snack, almost one. We kind of start eating out of the fridge. Are you hungry?
Leftovers are my favorite food group.
Well, we got great news for you. Coming up after our one last break, we pay a few more bills, and we're going to come back. We got more highlights, more scores. We're eating out of the fridge. If you stay with us.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antonio. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott & White Health.
And we welcome you back into Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. It's time, Greg Tepper, if you're getting hungry.
I am always hungry.
How about we eat out of the fridge? We head on down to the Rio Grande Valley as PSG North and Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial square off here in a tough test of undefeated. This one is all defense early. PSG North's first drive stops here in the pass near on the far side when Eagles' Ryan Kamara claws at the ball. That second drive is also no good as the Raiders' big man Ray Martinez wraps up the quarterback keeper on a third down. This one was Darren Garcia. He drops back for the pass and hits Ethan Guerrera. Nobody's home. He goes 46 yards. Raiders up by 7. Second quarter, Eagles respond. Anthony Winnis all day with the throw. He goes the distance to open wide receiver Riker Hinojosa with a big score there for Veterans Memorial. This just keeps going back and forth, in an absolute banger of a game down there in the RGV. One we look forward to in a cross-regional matchup, if you will, trying to see how far PSG North can go as kind of the team in the valley, but Veterans Memorial won't let them go too far as they make their first road trip for the season. So PSG North would go on to win it in an absolute upset there over Mission Veterans Memorial, 24-13. Greg Tepper, we had big eyes on that one.
Yeah, it's a huge win there for PSG North within district play. Let's go to East Texas. Corsicana Mildred taking on Palestine Westwood's homecoming night for Westwood. Mildred gets the ball first and chews up 10 minutes of clock before this interception from Quayshawn Shepard, and they are fired up there for Westwood. 2 plays later, Kavian Bryant throws to his little brother, Caden Bryant, who's going to hit the Jets. 86 yards later, he's in for the score, and Westwood is up early. Westwood's defense is not done yet because Mildred's going to hand off the ball, and Sebastian Lathan is just going to be like, give me that. Give me that. He's going to take the ball, make a man miss, break 2 tackles, and will fall into the end zone to make this 14-0 Westwood. Really impressive defensive play there from Sebastian Lathan. Then the Westwood defense forces another turnover, and the ensuing drive, Bryant looking, firing. His man will get in for the score to extend the lead to 21. Teams trade scores before the half, but Westwood goes on to win this one big, 63-25 in a battle of unbeatens there as these two teams would trade scores right before the half. But an impressive victory in a matchup of unbeatens as Palestine Westwood goes on to win it 63-25.
All right, to San Antonio we go. Let's go to Smithson Valley High School where the Rangers were taking on the Piper Warriors in district play. This one, a backyard rivalry. The first quarter, Piper ball, Chase Lyons throws it to Brady Hopper for the nice gain. That would eventually lead to a field goal for Piper. And this is the one where it was all tied up at 3 after 1. Second quarter, we get our first touchdown, and it's Ty Knutson who hands off to Caleb Piegler. He'll find the end zone as the Rangers take the lead 10-3. The Rangers would go on to win this district contest 27-17 in one that, Greg Tepper, we just had our eyes on this one. It felt like little brother against big brother, and big brother ends up pulling out the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Really impressive there as Smithson Valley maintains their dominant status there in Comal ISD.
I think it's time for our favorite segment amongst the staff, and it's the hometown ticker. Let's check in and see how the alma maters fared tonight in Texas high school football. First off, we got Greg Tepper's Campbell Cowboys, 37.
Cowboys fight never dies, baby.
37-23, and then Ashley Pickles Lano looked mighty comfortable against Comfort, 41-0.
Ding 'em.
Matt Steps, Everman Falls, 42-27 to Mansfield Timberview. V&A Moreno in Lake Dallas.
There
fall
she
by
is.
4. Still repping even after the 4-point loss, 20-16.
How are we feeling about the Dirty SCO? Frisco High is off this week.
I think those boys won the bye week is what I think. And now moving on to Mallory Hartley and the Arlington Colts, 48-31. They're 3-1.
KICKEM, kick 'em, Colts, kick 'em.
Now going on down south to Pleasanton. They fall 63-7 to San Antonio Davenport.
Will Wilkerson and Theo Wilkerson are devastated.
And then Gavin Moritz's Atascocita couldn't stop a nosebleed tonight against CE King. They fall 70-55. Mike Craven, Cedar Park, takes out some anger on Killeen Chaparral, 57-14. And Brooke Miller, our chief content officer, Keller, gets a rivalry win, 38-29 over Keller Central.
Very impressive there for Keller to get on the board. And that's what we did last week. And we heard from all of the other people who work here at Dave Campbell's.
Like, hey, we went here too.
They were really mad we didn't include them. So we'd like to keep our jobs. Let's continue to the hometown ticker and see how the rest of the alma maters did. There you see our president, Adam Hochfelder, 17-14 winners, his Berkner Rams over Richardson, beating China Lawrence's Richardson Eagles team. Let's see, that's Trevor Bullard's Katy Tigers gets a 52-7 win over Katy 7 Lakes. Brett's Flower Mound Jaguars fall short to Denton Geyer. Alito, per usual, Blaine Tatum.
Yeah, Blaine shouldn't even be on the graphic because Alito just wins all the time.
56-14 winners over Keller Fossil Ridge. How about Ben Stedman, our product guy? 55-20 winners over Elgin are his Pflugerville Panthers. Meanwhile, we have 2 Flower Mound Marcus grads.
Yeah, and a Flower Mound grad in Brett. So, we're running deep there.
Yeah, Clayton and Brent's Flower Mound Marcus Marauders fall short in the Battle of the Axe. Tough for Sierra Piper, Sweetwater Mustangs. They fall to a good Wall team tonight. Dre Matula of David Campbell's Texan Live.
The shocker from Goliad. Yeah, not that they won, that Dre's from Goliad.
41-21 winners over Mathis. How about Wimberley? Kimmy Gooding's Wimberley Texans edged past Geronimo Navarro tonight, 31-28. Meanwhile, there's Ryan Hooks.
And his lovely puppy.
And his puppy who's celebrating a birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, dog.
49-13 winners over his Farmersville Farmers over Gainesville.
There's your birthday present.
And tough sledding there for Sam Moore and his Plano East Wildcats.
So there you go, our
Plano East
hometown
Panthers.
ticker.
I had that wrong. Plano's the Wildcats, Plano East is the Panthers. That's tough for Sam Moore, who's looking very emo there.
He didn't send in his photo, so
my
we found
face
a bad
when
one.
my team loses.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly right.
All right, only one last thing to do here on the after party of Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight, and that's to take a look to next week as we go to our Built Ford Tough games to watch. And Greg Tepper, as we take a look into Week 6, what catches your eye?
So Week 6 is a huge bye week. It's the biggest open date of the year, so it's going to be slim pickings, especially in the small school ranks. But there are some good ones here. Alito and Denton Ryan's the headliner, plain and simple, as Alito puts their decades-long district winning streak on the line. Huntsville takes on Port Neches Groves in a game we've had circled. Dangerfield, what do they look like up against a good DCAP team? Denton Geyer and Campbell going at it in a critical district matchup. Jefferson and Atlanta. Can Jefferson bounce back after their loss tonight? And then Atascocita and Summer Creek in what is now a really, really important District 23 6A matchup there in the Houston area. So there you have it. Some of the games we're watching in the Built Ford Tough games to watch next week. Well, that's going to do it for us. Carter, how'd this feel?
Oh, it felt really good.
Yeah.
So the last time I came on in emergency relief was when I was a sophomore quarterback, and our starting quarterback who got injured looked me in the face and said, "Hey, it's your game now." Yeah. And I went out there and we lost 35-14. So I hope this one went better tonight.
That's going to do it for us. We appreciate you spending a little bit of your evening with us. TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber and watch a bunch of games on Dave Campbell's Texan Live tomorrow. For our producer, Vianney Moreno, for Ashley Pickle and Carter Yates, I'm Greg Tepper. We will see you on Monday for Dave Campbell's Texas Football Today, and we will see you next Friday for Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. See ya.